Business was booming. Made more money in my greatest summer than I can even imagine. Blew my mind. Was ready to do the same thing except double the next summer because I had bought a second setup with everything needed to thrive just like we did the second summer that we were in business. I was going to have a team running the second one, and I was going to manage both of them with employees running both. February comes around, COVID-19 hits the world, shakes the entire earth, and shutdowns are going rampant. Rampant. What do? All of our events are gone. The entire season is closed, and I have 2 setups. Here, I will explain the process as to the actions that I took and how I handled it. Let's get into it. The human brain is the greatest piece of technology to ever be created. Unfortunately, it's 40,000 years old. It's about time we upgrade and adapt our software to be happy and succeed in this new world, where psychological performance is the key to your desired destiny. I'm Tyler McCullough, and you're listening to The Future Forge. So, it was a cold winter evening when I started getting the emails from event coordinators telling me that, sorry, but our event is not happening this year. One after the other, after the other, after the other. I panic. Have no idea what I'm going to do because my entire business plan was being torn away like a falling floor. My building was collapsing. One that took so long and so much work to establish is now on fire because of a illness, a flu, a disease of COVID. I don't know if it's a disease, but coronavirus was attacking the planet and attacking businesses as well. I was one of them. I panicked. I had no idea what I was going to do. At the time, I was listening to Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, and Dean Graziosi about online knowledge sales. Selling your knowledge. And I know a hell of a lot about food trucks. I know a hell of a lot about the mobile food industry. And I figured, hey, why not start to teach others how I did what I did? So, I went on an adventure, a journey, spent multiple months constructing what I think is the greatest mobile food course of all time. Let me go grab some real quick. I constructed what I believe to be the greatest food truck course in modern history, and it is called Mobile Food Mercenary. The complete guide to financial independence with mobile food. This is the workbook. It has all kinds of amazing knowledge, quizzes, tests, multiple choice to give you basically an entire business plan and get it perfect the first time. So the minute that you start your food truck, you are on the way to 6 figures. Just like I made in my second season. I took all of my knowledge that I gained from my failures and how I changed my approach the second season to have the best year of my entire life. And I put it in this to give the people the greatest knowledge and access to doing it right the first time instead of having to have that learning curve. I did the learning curve for you so that you could get it right the first time. So I made this thing, right? It took a long time, took a lot of energy, but I did it. But just because you make something, just because you build it, doesn't mean they will come. So now I have to sell it. I have to create a funnel. I created I think I have like 9 hours of video to go with this. Obviously, this is like a bonus on top of the entire course. I did, 9 hours of video going in deep on how to build the brand, on how to do everything you needed to know. And then this supplements that. So once you watch the video, you go into the workbook and you fill out and your company's, what you're going to do with the knowledge that I gave you, and this is going to facilitate that. So I need to sell it now, right? So I'm following Russell Brunson religiously, and I built the funnel, which took an incredible amount of time, made an ad, and I was going to sell it with a webinar. And I had a Facebook page, the whole works, right? I'm not going to get too far into this part because there's a lot that goes into this kind of thing. But it was an ungodly amount of work. But I wanted to sell it, and I wanted to sell it fast so I could establish something before the season hits so that I can supplement my income from mobile food with selling mobile food information, so that I can help other people do what I did the second season. So how do I sell it? I did what Russell says. What he says to do is have your ad and spend the same amount of time in a week span, the amount of money in a week span that one unit costs. I was selling this for $9.97, so I spent $1,000 in a week span to get people into my webinar that was going to be on Thursday. I think it was March 16th. I was launching my webinar. It was a live webinar. It's my first webinar of all time. And I spent $1,000 to get people into it live. The thing is I didn't have a webinar. I didn't have my funnel finished, or the sales page finished. I had to do my email sequences, literally everything. I'm impatient. So I launched my webinar, and now I have to do all of these things to prepare for the webinar that I didn't think to do before I launched my ad. So here I am paying, $250 a day to run this advertisement to get people signed up for the webinar when I didn't even have the presentation started. When I first launched this ad, I was too excited. I was so pumped, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll be able to figure it out, which is kind of my philosophy in life at the time. I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just do it, and then however it goes, I'll be able to find solutions as we go, because problems will come and I'll be able to solve the problems. But I didn't think about how much work it was going to take to get this thing done. So I spent the entire week, all night long. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I was up all night, working all day to get this thing good to go. So come Thursday, I'll be able to actually sell it. Because if I don't have a product or a funnel to sell it, how are people going to buy it, right? So I spent an ungodly amount of time and work, head down for a week straight, not even eating, trying to finish what I had been paying for marketing, It was crazy. Probably one of the hardest things to do because it was such a crunch. I think that if, starting Squatch Dogs was probably one of the hardest things I've done, as well as working the second summer, myself and my girlfriend, pretty much only 6 days a week. All of what went into that was probably number one on the hardest things. 2 was starting Squatch Dogs, but I think that this process of the crunch of having to get everything done in such a short amount of time may trump all of that, because I was so stressed, I was so worked up, I was so panicked on how am I going to finish this? There's so much to do in such a little time. The stress of that was hard on me, and it was harder than the work that went into building Squatch Dogs and working it over the summer, mainly because it was mentally hard, not physically hard. It was physically hard as well because I was up all night, and but mentally I was drained all the time. the whole time. So, come Thursday, I finally finished everything after so many difficult things where ClickFunnels, my funnel got deleted, and I had to do all these different things because I've worked on all this stuff for the past week, and then now it's shut down. I'm on the freaking, support with ClickFunnels for 2 days straight trying to get this thing back up because I'm literally launching it in 2 days. I need to make sure it's ready to go, or else all this money is wasted. So I get everything done. It's all good. Thursday rolls around. I finished everything. I have my webinars at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that means, 5 p.m. our time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, so that everybody's off work. I have kind of the day to prep myself and get my mind right, because this is the first time I've ever presented anything online, especially selling things online. And I'm scared shitless because I have over 300 people registered for this thing, and I have to go and present my soul, because this is all me. When you have information products, you're pretty much selling yourself, right? And that's something that I'm not used to. I'm used to going out and selling hot dogs. I have products that aren't my information. When you're selling your own info, you have to make sure it's good, or else no one's gonna buy it. So it's scary as shit, and I've never done anything like this. So what I'm doing is I'm going into my mind and I'm like, well, I want to make sure it's good. I want to make sure that I have the capability to present this in a good way the first time, because when I'm live, you can't back out of that. You're good. You're set for 2 hours, and if you fail, you're going to be in front of everyone, and no, you can't edit anything. So I go in and 2 hours before, I have my mom and my girlfriend get on with me, and I'm just going to practice. Well, the thing is I was so into presenting it that I went on for 2 hours straight, did almost my entire presentation, and then I got cut because it was over 2 hours. Webinars are draining. Having to put that much energy into selling yourself is taxing on the mind, on the body, and on your voice. I lost my voice completely because I was so energized, I was so worked up, I was so into the presentation. The only thing is that it wasn't even live. No one's gonna see it because first of all, I didn't record it. Second of all, no one is ever gonna see this because the only people that are seeing it are my girlfriend and my mom, which are incredibly supportive. I'm glad they got to see the good one. But at the end of it, I'm tired. I'm like, oh God, dude. And then I'm stressed because now I have to do the exact same thing, or try to do the exact same thing with the exact same energy, when I just gave all my energy into the first presentation. I have 15 minutes to correct my slides that were messed up because Zoom kind of crunches it down. I have to correct my slides. I have to drink water. I can't eat. And I have to prepare myself to do the exact same thing with the exact same energy in 15 minutes. Stressed as hell. Live in front of what I think is going to be 300 people. Oh man, let's go. So I'm hyping myself up. I'm punching myself in the chest. I'm yelling in the house to get myself hyped up again for my presentation that took $1,000 to get all these people here. So here we go. Click, go early so people can kind of get in there. Most amount of people I had was 25. Okay, 300 people registered, 25 actually showed up. So if you're asking yourself, should I do a live webinar and spend the same amount of money that one product is going to be? Don't do it, because the enthusiasm from a week ago is not going to be there a week later, right? They're probably not going to show up. They're not opening your emails. And the excitement they had a week ago is not going to be there today because they probably forgot about it in the first place. 25 people showed up, and here we go, baby. I'm live, I'm interacting, trying to interact, and I'm going. Started off all right. As time went on, I started to kind of feel myself losing energy. I started to feel myself starting to bomb. When you start to bomb on a live webinar, there is nothing you can do. And when you know that you aren't presenting at your finest, at your best, and you're bombing, it hits you up here. And it starts to get in your head, and you're starting to think, okay, well, I don't want to do this. How am I bombing? How do I fix it? How do I do this? All of while you're trying to present your information that you're reading on your presentation and do this. And think of things to say so you don't bomb while also trying to present in a way that's professional and that you can get your point across. You can get your information out there. It's hard. It's scary. And I started to panic. Come to the end, no one bought it. People were asking me, well, can I just have the free commissary idea? I'm paying like $2,000 for my commissary right now and I want it for free. I'm saying, no, you don't get my information for free because you already own a food truck. You're not going to give me anything. I bombed. I was incredibly disappointed with myself. I was depressed for like 2 days afterward, and I lost a ton of money and got nothing in return. No clients, no interest, no one even gave a shit. Because why should they? I just came out there and offered no value prior. I was just, hey, come to my webinar and I'll show you some cool stuff. And then at the end, you know, I mean, I had a good PowerPoint, but my presentation was bad. I should not have spent 2 hours spending all my energy on a practice webinar. Don't do it. It's not good. I should have just went out there first try and gave that same energy for the live one, but I didn't. I completely blew it, and I was so disappointed. I didn't know what to do. So I've tried to record multiple webinars so that when people are excited about the webinar, they can go straight to the webinar instead of waiting a week to see a live one. I tried to record, I think I tried 8 times to record it in Zoom and all these different things. And no matter what I did, how many times I tried and how many times I tried to tweak my approach of technical difficulties, nothing was working. Either the screen was black, my mic was muted, there was black boxes all over the place. There was always something to ruin the webinar, and I didn't realize it until after I spent 2 hours doing it. Until the 8th time, I got into Final Cut Pro, started to edit it, and it broke again. The screen was black, and all you could hear is the audio. So I got up, furious, steam blowing out of my ears, blood rushing into my face, probably broke a blood vessel in my head somewhere. I got up, I picked my chair up, I slammed it on the ground, yelling, "What the fuck?" Punched a hole in my wall, in my office wall. And I was just freaking out, lost my mind completely. And that's not me. I'm usually never the one to freak out, scream, and punch holes in the wall. Never have. I've thrown my retainer across the room when I was playing Xbox one time, but that was when I was younger, right? Thrown controllers and stuff, but that was when I was in high school. I learned a lot since then, and that isn't me anymore. In my adult life, I've never been that person. I've always diffused situations, but here I am, angry as hell, blaming the world for my hardships. So my girlfriend comes in and she says she's freaking out because she hasn't seen me like that before. She's like almost crying because she's like feeling what I'm feeling because I'm projecting it onto her. And she's like, "This isn't you. You've never done this. What is going on? How can I help? Your mind is not in the right way." And then she asked, why is this happening for you? Because that's something that I've always said is things happen for you, not to you. So why has this happened for you? And that totally shifted me. It like punched me in the face. And I just thought, it's to show me that this has taken your mind over, and you've lost your ways of the law of attraction, of controlling your situation, of controlling your emotions and being present. I wasn't being present at all this entire process. For the last 3 months, I was lost in the work, in the future, in panicking that things aren't going to work out like they did last year. I lost complete sight of Squatch Dogs. I gave up on so many things. And I felt like this is the only way that I can succeed at this point, which is completely false. But in my mind, that's what it was. And I lost all sense of self, in self-reflection, in psychology, in being aware of your surroundings, because I was so focused on things that I can't control. So I look back and I reflect on when was my greatest mindset, because that's what this whole thing is. It's mindset. That's why I didn't succeed with this thing. That's where all success comes from. That's where your whole entire life, that's what your whole entire life revolves around, is your mind and how you look at life, how you expect things to be, your expectations, your standards for yourself. So I'm thinking, how can I get back to that strong steel mindset that no one can fuck with, that unfuckwithable mindset where these kind of situations, I can divert them and figure out the correct way to do it. Be resourceful, figure things out without panicking and being fearful and making decisions out of fear, basically. And I'm thinking back to Tony Robbins. When I got out of high school, my girlfriend went to college, and I was by myself. All my friends went to college. I was basically alone for 6 months while my girlfriend was up partying, and we ended up breaking up, right? So when that happened, I went into success mode. I need to become the greatest version of myself I can be, and I know that Tony Robbins is an excellent role model for that. Model success. He is the greatest role model for a successful mindset. And that's his whole entire career, is become the master of your own life. And that's what I needed to do. So I put the Mastering Influence. My dad had all the CD sets, or that CD set. So I downloaded them onto my computer, put them on a little iPod Shuffle, and went out in the wintertime to a frozen lake. I just walked on the frozen lake and studied and listened daily to this guy talk beautifully to me, it felt like, right? And it was great, and my mindset was unbeatable. I felt like I could conquer the world at 19 years old. And that's when I was doing affiliate marketing at the time. And I was trying to sell other people's products, and I was like, well, how about I create my own product? I want to help people my age, millennials, people that I grew up with. I want to help them understand this next level of thinking, because this feels so incredible to me. I want to benefit everybody else. I want to help everybody else understand this so that we can all, progress together in our lives. Because if mindset equals your life, then I want to help strengthen everybody's mindset so that everybody's lives can be great. So I was trying to come up with a course to help people my age know this stuff. But I felt like when I started to do it, I'm like, I'm too young. Nobody's going to listen to me. I'm 19 years old. People aren't going to listen to me about life stuff because I haven't even lived that much life yet. So I started it. I never did it. And then I, went to work until I started my business, and then whatever. But that was my greatest mindset ever. So I went back to my parents' house, and I was like, hey, I need to find this Mastering Influence course again because I need to redo this. And I couldn't find it. Scoured the whole house. I could only find one DVD on my dresser, and it was DVD number 10 or CD number 10. I couldn't find the whole thing. But what I did find is a briefcase of SGR, which is the Science of Getting Rich. And this is a program from Bob Proctor and Michael Beckwith. I don't know if you know them, but it's all about the law of attraction, right? The invisible force that we all have inside of us and that is all around the world, the law of attraction, where focus creates your reality. Focus is energy. Where focus goes, energy flows. So when you're focused on all the bad things in your life, when you're focused on how hard this is, when you're focused on how nothing is working and you're always a victim, the universe will give you more of what you focus on. So if you constantly say, I am broke, I am having a hard time, I hate my job, it's going to give you more reasons to be broke. It's going to give you more situations that cause you to be broke. It's going to give you more reasons to hate your job. It's going to give you more of what you think is real. What you believe to be true is your life. So that's what the concept of that is. I found SGR and I bought the Ultimate Edge program from Tony Robbins. I studied them for months. And I was back to the most strong mindset of my life. This time, it's even better than it was before because I'm older, I'm more wise, and I can implement the knowledge and apply it to my life and realize how true it actually is. So I'm starting to implement it. I'm starting to apply it. I'm starting to teach it to my girlfriend so that she can implement it into her life. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's do it with Squatch Dogs. So I start to apply this knowledge and use it. And sure enough, the phones start ringing for Squatch Dogs. The emails start coming. The Facebook messages start rolling in. And I'm booking gigs at neighborhoods. A ton of gigs at neighborhoods. I'm talking like 3 or 4 days a week. And they're blowing up. We're making tons of money. We're making like a lot of money for a pandemic. For social distancing, where you can have groups of more than 5 people, we are making a killing right now. Because my mindset is good. I'm able to figure out problems, to reroute troubled times, and think in a way that is superior to the mindset that had me punching holes in the wall. And we made a killing. We did great. And since I was able to feel such a drastic change in my life, again, I went back to I want to help other people get to this mindset so that they can create this in their life, this feeling, these circumstances, these opportunities that are flowing into my life because I'm thinking a certain way. I want to help others think in the same way in their lives, not the way that I think, but apply it to your own life situation so that you can attract the things that you want, so that you can create the destiny that you desire so much. I want to help others become the best versions of themselves and forge the future that they want so badly, but feel held back and like they're inhibited because of outside circumstances. I'm here to tell you right now, it's not the outside circumstances that are blocking you. It's the interior thoughts and subconscious beliefs that you have acquired from your childhood, from your traumatic experiences, and that is what is holding you back. Once you shift that mind to the next level and almost become the version of yourself that it's going to take to get to that destiny, now you will automatically attract the people, places, things, and circumstances it's going to require to get you there. So I went and I was listening to Tony Robbins so much, I got this this advertisement to become a coach, a Tony Robbins certified coach on Facebook. They marketed their thing to me and I clicked on it. I'm like, this is pretty cool. There's a couple free videos here. Let me watch them. Unbelievable knowledge and just crazy transformations. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to learn from anybody on how to be a life coach, this is always what I've wanted to do. I love helping people. I love contributing, and I want people to. I want to see transformations in people like that are going to blow my mind. And if I can facilitate that, that would be the most gratifying career I could even think of. So let me go ahead and try to do this because I'm old enough now. I have the experience, and I want to help people. So I call him up, or I didn't call him up, but I signed up for a little consultation, an hour consultation, and it's in a week, right? So I think it was Saturday when I signed up for it. My thing was on Wednesday, and 2 days later, I get an offer for a disaster loan from the government, from my state, so that because COVID, they send out a bunch of money to help small businesses. I'm a small business, and they gave me $6,000, or they offered me $6,000. I'm like, well, I don't want to have a loan. I don't have to pay it back. Shit, should I take it? I feel like, I could use the money for sure, but I don't know what I'm going to use it for right now. I'm going to take it. I took the money. It sat in my bank account until Wednesday rolled around, and I had no idea what the money was for. But Wednesday rolled around, I have my consultation, I have my meeting with the Robbins Madonnas people, so that I can hear kind of what they have to offer. They didn't say they were going to offer anything, but I kind of know already they're going to offer the course, or whatever they're going to offer they're going to offer me something. So I get to that day, have an awesome conversation, and he tells me how much the certification is, what it includes, and if I want to do it. And then he told me the price. It was a lot of money, but I'm thinking, holy shit! I just got $6,000 from a disaster loan. That is a student loan. That is the universe's way of saying, please take this opportunity, because this is what you've always wanted to do, and you've been so interested in this stuff right here, that this is what you need to do. This is what you need to use that money for, and this is your next step in life. And I felt that when I thought of the money. I'm like, holy shit. It's all coming together, and it was meant to happen like this. I was meant to punch a hole in a wall, because if I didn't stress out and become so unlike myself and go on this self-development journey to forge my mind into a fucking weapon, into a tool to use for the summer, then I would have never been to this point right here. If coronavirus never happened, I would have never been to this point right here. If all of these shitty things didn't happen for me, I would have never gotten to this point. And if that money didn't go into my bank account, if I didn't take that loan, I wouldn't have been able to pay for it. So I did it. And I spent the next 4 months, while Squatch Dogs is operating in the summer, I spent the next 4 months going through this in-depth training. It was 100 hours of life coach training, 100 hours. That's a lot of freaking hours. And after 4 months in September, which is my birth year, or my birth month, I was able to secure this guy right here. It is my Robbins Madonnas Certificate of Achievement for completion of 100 hours of life coach training from Tony Robbins. the man, the myth, the legend. He's a savage, and I'm able to really implement this and help others transform in the way that Tony Robbins transforms lives. He's the most successful, the founder of life coaching and self-development. He is the man. And being able to get this kind of knowledge, it's a special way of life coaching. It's totally different. And I am certified to I'm certified with this program. So that is where we're at today. I've been working on some amazing program work. I'm building. I'm in the middle of making my videos to complement my personal one-on-one life coaching. I consider myself a psychological performance coach because it's all up here, baby. This is what controls your life. And we need to make the shift. We need to uncover the subconscious belief, the damage that has been done to your psyche, the neuroassociations you have with everything, and the fear. As you can see, this is the Future Forge podcast. I'm starting a podcast. I want to end this. I'm glad that this is the last part of my story because now I can start to get into people's actual lives on here. I have an email called askfutureforge@gmail.com. I want you guys to email me detailed situations in your life right now that you're struggling with. I want to help you. I want to help as many people as I possibly can, whether I'm getting paid or not. I know that by giving as much value, and this right here is valuable as hell. Now that I have this knowledge, now that I have this base, I've applied it to my own life. I've applied it to modern day. This is, from a long time ago. I've taken this knowledge and applied it to modern day problems, which are completely different than problems before cell phones existed. Before social media was a thing, times are changing rapidly. And the world is a completely different place. And this knowledge is still relevant, but not in the way that it was before. It has completely changed because the world is constantly changing. But the concepts apply to every single human on Earth. The situations are just different. So I really am so excited to help you on your journey to, get you to the desired destiny that you need to be on. Whatever it is that you want to do, I'm here to help. And I'm excited to start working with people one-on-one because that is where you're going to see the real transformations. And I'm excited. I'm just so freaking pumped because I love people and I love people that want to grow, and the people that are going to come to me are going to be the ones that want to grow, that want to get better, that want to advance their lives and have goals that they want to hit and that feel like they're being held back. And I'm here to help break those barriers so that you can get to the next levels, to forge this mass, this mess in your mind that has been created just like it has been for everybody. But it's a mass of steel, right? It's a heavy weight in your brain. Everybody has it. But it's your job to put it in the fire, to throw it in the 4,000 degree heat, to frickin' light it on fire and hammer the shit out of it until it becomes a weapon, a sword, a tool to advance you on your journey. This is life is an adventure. Think about it as like the Legend of Zelda. You are Link. You're gonna have to go and slay fucking dragons in this. This is the Hobbit. You have to climb mountains. You have to slay dragons. You're gonna have things come up in your life that are going to be scary and they're gonna be very intimidating. But when you have the mind that is a weapon that you can use to attack your frickin' dragons, then you're gonna be able to advance much further than someone who just chills in their little hobbit home and hides from danger. But if you have big goals and if you have dreams that are bigger than that scare you, then you're going to need a weapon to make it there. Because there's going to be massive amounts of problems, massive amounts of scary things that you're going to have to do to get there, and you need a weapon. And this can be forged into a tool to get you there, and I'm here to help you do that. So, that concludes our story. That's where we're at today. And I'm here. I'm going to be doing all kinds of podcasts, all kinds of videos, making all kinds of stuff, which I will update you later. But for now, if you have any situations that you want help with, that you would like to talk to me about, right? Go ahead and email askfutureforge@gmail.com. Send a detailed situation, and I will discuss it on this podcast. I won't say your name if you don't want me to, but I'm here to help you. Okay, and I have a cool, awesome amount of knowledge that I can share with you. And yeah, that's it. So we're going to start to get into life situations. I already have a bunch of questions that I'm going to answer in each podcast episode. So subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube, follow me on Facebook. My page is Tyler McCullough. It's a Facebook page. I'm going to be uploading all these here too, on Facebook. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one, or you will hear me in the next one. We'll talk later. But as of right now, toodaloo. Catch you later. Thank you.